Here's quite a primitive build for the Engineer in Guild Wars 2 PvP. It's the Static Discharge Holosmith. Essentially, you want to spam your tool belt skills, which cleanse you, and will shoot out static discharge projectiles. Now, this build can be used with the rifle turret for even more spam, but I like to go with the toolkit instead because it still gives you a decent tool belt ability, but the utility of the toolkit is a lot better than a rifle turret which does nothing, because this build is very susceptible to being focused, and you can use all the defense you can. Because here you can see I get interrupted in my photon wall. I'm not able to go into my toolkit fast enough to get the block there, and I get stealth openered on by 3 players. So I'm going to go down here after getting focused, so that is quite unfortunate. But you want to be using your super speed to kind of prevent that from happening. So essentially you get your super speed from Holo Leap 2, the ability that gives you super speed, and you will also get super speed from Kinetic Battery, which you get after using 5 tool belt abilities. So you'll get a lot of super speed and quickness just by going in and out of the forge, because that counts as a tool belt skill. So essentially you want the Vent Exhaust Grandmaster, because that's going to allow you to use your forge more often, because you reduce your heat whenever you use a dodge roll, and you've got a lot of dodges because of all the vigor from tools. And yeah, essentially you want to stay in your forge as often as possible, because you're getting a lot of the value from the super speed on the leaps, and you're getting a lot of value from the Corona Burst, which is probably one of the strongest skills. Now, I get interrupted in my photon wall again, and we're outnumbered here, so I'm going to go down again. You really have to be aware of your positioning to be able to survive. So that's pretty much the weakness of this build, is being outnumbered, being focused, and you have a low amount of stun breaks, right? You've only got the super speed from the slick shoes. But how this build essentially works is you have a bunch of CC abilities. So you've got the Rifle 3 immobilizes, Rifle 4 knocks back, you've got Prime Light Beam as an unblockable knockback, you've got Toolkit 5 as an unblockable pull, and you've got these slick shoes. So you've got all these CC abilities, also the Holo Forge 5, and you want to just combo your enemies down while using your instant cast Tool Belt Particle Accelerator to gain vigor on your, from the tools trait line, and vigor will give you extra damage and more dodges. And you've also got the explosive entrance, so you're dodging a lot, and your explosive entrance will also blind. So you can do kind of like this combo where you'll do a dodge while the enemy is kind of like in between your CCs, and then you'll get extra damage, and just in general doing explosives will give more vulnerability and synergy to you. So yeah, you want to be dodging a lot. And the particle accelerator is kind of nice for triggering the blind on explosive entrance, because it's an instant cast. So normally when you dodge, enemies are going to want to attack you right after your dodge. So what you'll do is you'll dodge and then use the instant cast particle accelerator, which will blind their next attack on you. So it gives you a little bit of safety to make up for how squishy you are. So we're going to push into far here. My allies are kind of low, so we're going to try to peel for them. I get a little bit of pressure on me. I have to use my stun break, but after I stun break, I get CC'd and bursted down, so I'm going to die again. So I've already died 3 times in the first 4 minutes of the game, which is, that's feeding right there. So you got to be aware of your positioning and not go into situations where you get outnumbered and focused like that. But we're going to respawn and try to get some damage out now, because essentially the more you die in a fight, it's kind of like you go into Vegeta mode. You understand the more you lose, the more you have to watch out for those things. So sometimes it's good that you die, because then you become better. So we're going to try to not die from now on. I do go into a situation where I'm going to be outnumbered though, so instead of going into that, I go around a little bit more safely using the super speed. And yeah, so essentially I want to go for my damage from the particle accelerator while using my rifle burst 2 or my Holo Forge abilities. And that's pretty much how it works. It's pretty easy to do damage on this build. I use the throw wrench there, and does a bit of damage if you can get the right positioning there. I slick shoes, we both slick shoes each other, so we both go down. And now we're outnumbering them, so we're actually in a 2v2, so I'm gonna back off. I don't want to get anywhere close to the Bladesworn there. My ally is down here, so I go for the Prime Light Beam to try to, get the kill on their thief. And I have so much cleave damage, the throw wrench does so much damage that we're going to be able to win this rally war. So yeah, if there's one thing that this build is really good at, it's cleaving down bodies. Because if someone's going for the res, your static discharge will bounce between the down body and whoever's rezzing. So it's quite good for that. Now, we've got the mid cap now. We're not really that far behind because even though I was dying a lot, our team was actually capping nodes. So we're not in a bad spot for sure. So I land my toolkit 5 and the pry bar, and we're just going to focus this Bladesworn down off node. This is actually a really good build for focusing Bladesworns because Bladesworns are low on stun breaks. So this build has tons of CC to punish that. Now we're going to just auto attack and rifle here because that does a decent amount of damage too. I see that the thief goes in stealth and the Bladesworn goes in stealth, so I know that the thief is rezzing. I precast the throw wrench and that does a ton of damage. And I'm going to use my Forge 3, the Corona Burst, before I overheat. You can always use the Corona Burst before you overheat and then leave the Forge, because if your heat maxes out after you leave the Forge, it won't count as overheating. So it's pretty nice to just spam Corona Burst. Now I see the thief is here, so I'm going to try to reveal them. I've got reveal if I hit targets in stealth, but I don't want to go too close and get focused. Now my Fresh Air Weaver there dies, so I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to push into that fight because we've got a 2 cap. Now our team does overcommit and they leave mid open, which is kind of unfortunate rotationally. And now I'm going to be outnumbered as well, so yeah, this is just a bad situation. So I'm going to dodge that. I got reflected here, and I'm going to use my slick shoes just in case they keep chasing, but yeah, probably a waste there. Now I'm going to take the 1v1 against the Core Guard again, but I see that their Holosmith is just going to keep zoning me. And this is giving our team time because I'm outnumbered here. But yeah, their Holosmith is actually going to try to get me. So I'm going to use the high ground there. I actually overheated, which is pretty bad because I am really susceptible now. So I'm just going to avoid engaging on anyone. I use my pull here, and the pry bar is pretty nice. Get a 5k damage there. And I use my Prime Light Beam, but they got stability from their Guardian. Now I'm going to try to focus the same target with our team, but they're all kind of low. The auto attack is also pretty good in Forge if you have the quickness from Kinetic Battery, because your auto attack in Forge does a lot of damage, and with the quickness it's easy to get out. Now their thief is going to try to fight me, but he's going to realize that, yeah, Static Discharge has a lot of damage and countering to stealth, so you have to be really careful as a thief. Now he's probably just going to leave. I think he probably was trying to decap me, but it was already decapped. I'm not going to worry about that though. I don't need to cap nodes because I can get momentum around the map even better than a thief can. So I don't want to be capping nodes. So I see that their engineer here is down. I don't want them to be revived, but we're going to head in too far. So the thief actually decided to just full cap our home node, which is fine. I'm going to get kills. I'm going to do their job instead. And I'm going to focus this Bladesworn and use our CCs on them. Use our Prime Light Beam. But I actually see that our team is focusing the Vindicator instead, which is not really the best target right now because they have tons of evades. But since our team is on it, it's better for me to be on that. I have my Slick Shoes if really need be, but yeah, actually the Slick Shoes is pretty insane because it's an unblockable CC as well. So I have 3 unblockable CCs, which really helps you to get kills. But there's like a really low, my Spellbreaker is really low, so we have to back off and try to peel for them. I think their entire team is here now, and our Ellie is capping mid, so we're like a 4v4-ish, but we're really pressured from essentially getting a kill. So I'm just going to play a little bit safe here. My ally is getting focused on the node, so I'm going to try to go and help them out and use my Corona Burst here. But yeah, they're doing a good job of surviving and focusing targets as well. So Right now, I've just used my Prime Light Beam, but they've got the projectile block, and my Fresh Air Weaver goes down again, but their Thief is kind of low, and I can just auto attack them with my rifle. And I've got the super speed here from the kinetic battery, and yeah, we can just auto attack them until they die. I use the stomp just so I can get them to reposition, and now we're just going to cleave this with the throw wrench and the Holoforge 4, and we can definitely cleave this faster than they can cleave our team because we've got just so much damage. But now I'm out of cooldowns, and I have to be really careful, so I use my Photon Wall and then try to get out of the immobilizes with my Holo Leap. Now I pulled their Vindicator in, but that's maybe not the best play, so I'm going to leave and use my Prime Light Beam to get them off of me. I'm super low, so I'm going to use my Toolkit 4, but that actually gets unblockable CC'd, so I'm going to get taken out here. But we've got the entire map now because our warrior is now capping nodes, and this is, yeah, we don't really have that much support here, so we're going to be probably taken out here. So yeah, I've died 4 times on this build. Usually if you die more than 3 times in a fight, you're dying too much. If you die more than 5, you're feeding, essentially. So yeah, you really want to be more careful. On this build though, you are going to die a lot, in my opinion, in like matches where your team is not immensely winning. You will get focused and you'll get taken out a lot. So you do have to compensate for that by playing a little bit more carefully. Now their Thief is going to use Shadow Step here to get out of my pressure. They're going to go in stealth and then take their Shadow Step back and then head back to mid probably. So I'm going to allow that to happen and just chase them into mid. Now I know that the Thief probably wants to decap in this situation because we've got a down and their team doesn't really have the ability to go for a kill here. So I'm going to go back and try to prevent the decap here. I use my stun break because I know that thieves don't really have that much ability to get value off of stunning me, just so I can prevent the decap. But unfortunately, they still got the decap. Now I'm not going to worry about that though because I'm not capping nodes as a Holosmith because I don't have the ability to really do much about that. So I'm just going to keep chasing the Thief to prevent them from getting momentum on my team. Now we get them down, and I'm going to actually cap the node because I can account for them. But their Vindicator comes back and tries to res. I use my Particle Accelerator, and you can see the insane damage. They can't go for the res. They've also got the guard here as well, and I'm going to cleave with my rifle autos and static discharge from the Particle Accelerator. Now we're in a little bit of a sticky situation, but we've got one down, so it's a little bit more even now. My Chrono Burst does insane damage because I don't dodge it, and I'm going to stun break that staff 5. Now we're going to focus this target together. I can use my Particle Accelerator to cripple them, and now the Prime Light Beam is going to finish them off. And now we're going to try to take on the Vindicator here because we've got pretty much mid on lockdown, and we've gotten 2 kills, so we can afford to pretty much 2v1 this really tanky build right now. Yeah, Vindicator right now is extremely overpowered, let's just say the least. But we're going to just keep chasing this, and at this point the game is pretty much over. But yeah, we're going to keep trying to get this kill here, doing as much damage as possible. They go off and kite, so I'm going to just cap the node. But yeah, that's pretty much how the Static Discharge Holo works. You want to be careful with how you position yourself though, or you'll die 4 times in a match like me. But eventually you can get momentum by doing a lot of damage when your team needs it, which is sometimes more valuable, but you got to be careful that you're alive to be able to do that damage. So that's pretty much how you play the build. If you like this content, then make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. And if you want to see the entire build with the updated traits, because sometimes the game will change, then you can check out the link in the description, which will bring you to guildgen.com, and you can just check out the build there. If you want to see any other PvP builds, then you can also check out the links below, and I will see you all next time.